Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be reviewing a new foundation from NARS. It is the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation and I'm in the shade Light. It looks like this in its packaging. It's beautiful, very simplistic. So let's go ahead and unbox this baby. Alright, so here we go. This is beautiful. You guys. Eee! I love it. I love it already. Okay, so before I go too far, I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and prime our face. So I'm using the e.l.f. primer. This primer is the poreless face primer from them. They have a couple of different options. So I'm just gonna do it in my problem areas, really, where my pores are a little bit bigger. I've already moisturized my face. So one thing you want to think about before you put on foundation is no matter what your skin type is, moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. There's different types of moisturizers out there, but I'm typically dry to combination. It depends on the day, honestly. I've never been super oily, but one thing that I have found is that when I don't moisturize, my skin actually produces more oil throughout the day. So even if you tend to have oily skin, maybe try putting on a moisturizer beforehand that's a lightweight moisturizer, an oil-free moisturizer. It can actually help your skin and cause it to not produce as much oil because your skin is already moisturized, and all that your skin is doing when it's not moisturized and creating oil is compensating for the fact that it's dry, even if it feels oily. Alright, so let's jump right in. So I'm going to be using one of my new Morphe brushes, the M439 brush. It is their deluxe blender brush. I'm super excited. Typically I don't use a brush for foundation, but I'm really excited to try this one out. So I'm gonna just put this on my face first. I'm loving the shade and the color of this, and I like the texture. It doesn't feel too thick, but it's also not very runny either. It's kind of that perfect in between, you know? Alright, so now that I've done the dabbing, I'm just gonna dab this brush. Oh my gosh, this brush is so soft, y'all. Wow. Alright, so it's blending out really nicely. This is really nice. I also love this brush. It's blending out my foundation really well. Bugs? Yeah, this is blending out my foundation super well, and I'm still getting a really full coverage. And one thing I've noticed about some brushes that are for foundation is they will soak up all your product, you know, as you're applying instead of applying it to your face. And so that's why a big reason I don't typically use foundation brushes, but my oh my do I love this one. Alright, so I'm just going to continue to blend this out. I really like how it's blending out. It's a really pretty full coverage. I'm a fan. It's very luminous too, so if I wanted to go and be a little more luminous, I could with this foundation. Because typically I'm more of a fan of the matte foundations. But you guys, this foundation is really beautiful. It's got really pretty coverage, and I don't even think that I'm gonna need to add anything to it. I think for the sake of this video, I'm gonna see how blendable it is. So let's go ahead and put a little bit more like on my forehead, my problem areas. Let's see. Let's see if this foundation blends out well after. I've already done one coat. Okay, so it's definitely blendable. This is nice. You guys, I don't even need concealer. I'm loving how much product this brush is leaving on my face. and it's super blendable. And one thing I don't really like about brushes sometimes is how they'll leave like stripes on your face. This brush is not doing that. I know this is not even a review of the brush. However, I'm gonna put it down in the description for you guys because I'm using it for the first time too, and I love it. This is amazing. This is so amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my concealer as well. I honestly don't know that I need it, but I'm just gonna do a little bit for the sake of seeing how it blends out. So I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape, and as you guys all know, it's literally my favorite concealer. I will never go back. So I'm actually going to use the Morphe E8 brush to blend. Since I blended my foundation with a brush, I'm going to go ahead and blend my concealer as well. Alright, so I'm really liking how this brush is blending out as well. It's kind of smaller so I can, you know, control where I want to go. So what I really like about this foundation is that the concealer is blending quite nicely over it. And granted, I did not use a large amount of concealer just because the foundation itself is very full coverage. So I'm definitely going to set and bake my face because it is such a luminous foundation, and I don't want to walk around looking super luminous. But so far I really love the coverage, you guys. It's really pretty finish. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna start to bake. So I'm gonna use my Airspun loose face powder. I got it from Walmart. I put this in pretty much all of my videos with foundation in it. It's just kind of my go-to. So I'm gonna be using a damp beauty blender to bake. You know, I use my brushes, but I have one of my spongy sponge. It's already wet. And what I'm gonna do is just begin to bake the face. So now that I have baked just the parts where I want to really set my foundation, I'm going to take this I'm going to take this E20 brush, and I'm just going to dab it on the spots that I just want to set but not really bake. Including your eyes, because when you wear a luminous foundation and you put it on your eyes, I usually do just to act as like a eyeshadow primer. When it's luminous or kind of an oily based, it'll create creases in your eyeshadow, so I just go ahead and I set my my eyelid as well. I'm just gonna come and set this stuff as well up around my temples. Make sure everything's good on the under eye. Alright, so I'm going to let that bake for a second. And my next step is I'm going to contour over this foundation. I always like to see how a foundation blends with my contour. I do a powder contour most every single day, and pretty much every time I go out to do something fun as well, I will use a powder. I just prefer that over a cream. And honestly, it's up to you. Usually creams look a little more dramatic, and you can do more in the pre-bake and pre-set mode. But here's Bugsy, always makes a cameo in my videos. Are you done? Are you gonna do it for a while, or are you just gonna appear and then go? I'm good with either, honestly. Say hello to the family. Hi. I love you, little chicken nugget. My little golden chicken nugget. Alright, now that my face is baked, typically I would let it bake just a little bit longer, but I'm going to go ahead and do my contour over while my face is still baking. That is totally okay. You can do that, I promise. So I'm going to take my Morphe R10 brush. This is one of their contouring brushes. I have not used it yet, so we are using it together. I might have ordered some Morphe brushes the other day, and we might be using them for the first time in this video. Oh well. So I'm going to take my typical everyday contouring shade. I know I put it in all my videos. I probably really do need to expand my horizons. However, it is hard to find a shade that matches my face. So we're going to be sticking with this one. This one is actually a cheek color from NYX. It looked like this. It is a cool toned brown. It's in the color taupe. And one of their high definition blushes. So what I'm going to be doing is just applying this to so that is definitely a definite line. But it is blending nicely over my foundation, which is nice. Ooh, that's nice. So I'm really loving how my contour is going over this foundation. It's not dragging, it's not leaving patchiness, which some foundations tend to do even after you've baked it or you've set it. It just doesn't like the powder contour, but I'm liking this foundation in the way that it's responding to it. So I'm just gonna build it up as I go, and I will say with this brush, you definitely have to blend. I don't think it's the foundation that's causing me to have to blend. I do think that it is the brush because it's more of a dense brush. Alright, I really like how it's turning out over this foundation. So for my forehead contour, I'm going to do a looser powder brush. This is one that you can also use for cheek blush. It's the M530 brush. I'm just going to dab, dab, dab and apply it up here in the corner of my forehead to bring that in as well. Yeah, I'm loving the way that this is going over my foundation. It's only been setting for what, a couple of minutes, and this is really nice. So I'm going to also do my nose contour. One thing I've noticed about some foundations when I do my nose contour is that it either drags the makeup off, or it is really patchy, or it just don't ever look good. So I am using my Morphe E47 brush. This is a great brush. It's kind of a flat tip, as you can see, and it's very good for defining lines. Some people use it to bake their under eye when they're doing a more dark shadow on their lid. But today we're going to be using it for our nose contour, girls. Okay. So I'm just going to start by dragging it, just starting the line that I want. I feel like I'm doing a contour tutorial, but honestly this is just to see how this foundation responds to my contour. Because girls, to me that makes a difference. Honestly, it does. So I'm just going to start blending this out, and then we will move on to highlight. Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of how this is blending out over my foundation, but I'm also not like super disappointed either. I've seen usually matte foundations, they're just gonna be easy to blend over because they're matte. But honestly, for a luminous foundation, this is not bad at all when it comes to blending it out. So what I'm going to do just before we go on is I'm going to go ahead and set this a little bit more. So clearly I'm not using this for all of its luminosity, but if I was, it would be there. So there we go. I'm gonna let that bake for a minute, and then I'm going to actually dust away the rest of the powder on my face with my big fluffy M527 brush. It's so fluffy I could die. I don't know what I'm saying, but alright. Okay, so the look of this foundation is really, really, really pretty. Like, just the finish, even after I have done away with my bake, it's so just smooth. I love the look of this foundation on my skin. I'm a huge fan. A huge fan, you guys. So let's go ahead and do my highlight, and then I will come back and give you a briefing of what I think. Alright, so I've done my highlight, I've done my contour, I've done my nose contour and everything I need to do, and all the baking and all the things you do when you put on foundation. And honestly, I love this foundation. I did not know if I would or not, because typically I don't go for a more luminous look or luminous feel, but I really do like this foundation. The coverage, and also just the finish you get is beautiful. It's very full coverage. It doesn't sink into my pores like some foundations do, even with primers. But so I'm gonna give this a thumbs up. You guys go get this foundation. It's $49 at Sephora. It's one of their newer ones. They just launched it a couple weeks ago, and I'm a huge fan. I'm probably gonna go back and get another one of these. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys try this foundation out. It's a great foundation. I give it 5 stars. So thank you for watching, you guys. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like, comment, and share, and be sure to subscribe to my channel, because I put out new videos every Monday and every Thursday, and you don't want to miss them. All right, see you guys later. Y'all have an awesome day.